Okay, so you want to own a sportsbook. Get a license, put up the odds, and wait for the losers to pay the winners while you skim a little off the top. But here's the strange part. A sportsbook is one of the only businesses on Earth where you get paid whether your customer wins or loses. The math hands you a cut of every single bet before the game even starts. And yet the biggest, best-funded operators in the country have set fire to billions of dollars doing exactly this. Last year, Americans wagered around $150 billion on sports. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where that money really goes, how a book actually makes its money, why the bet they push hardest is the one quietly robbing you, and why owning the house can still leave you broke. A sportsbook comes in 3 very different sizes, and they are not the same business. At the bottom is the single state operator. You rent someone else's technology, put your brand on it, and take bets in one state. In the middle sits the regional book, live in a handful of states still fighting for scraps, and at the top sit the 2 companies that actually run this country's betting, DraftKings and FanDuel. Between them, they take roughly 2 out of every $3 wagered in the entire United States. Now here is the wall nobody warns you about. There is no national license. You apply state by state more than 30 times over, and every state sets its own price. In New York, the license alone costs $25 million, and once you're in, you hand the state more than half of everything you take. On top of that, most states make you rent market access through an existing casino, which means another fee and another cut of your revenue before you have paid out a single winning ticket. But the license is just the entry fee. The real cost is the war you walk into the moment you turn the app on, because you are not competing for bettors. You are buying them one at a time in the most expensive customer war in modern business. This is why you see the free bets. Bet $5, get $200 back. Deposit $100, we will match it. That money is not generosity. It is the price of stealing a customer away from DraftKings or FanDuel, and those 2 will spend whatever it takes to keep them. The result is brutal. Fewer than 10 sportsbooks in the entire country have managed to grab even 1% of the market. Everyone else gets set on fire. WinBet, backed by a casino empire, quit and pulled out of more than a dozen states. PointsBet sold its whole American business. Fubo, Maxim, FoxBet, Tipico, all dead. A sportsbook, it turns out, is a customer acquisition bonfire that occasionally throws off cash. And you have not even taken a bet yet. So now we get to the question that actually matters. Where does the money actually come from? Every bet in a sportsbook is quietly rigged. Not the outcome, the price. And the tool is something called the vig. Picture a simple coin flip. Heads or tails, a fair bet, nobody has an edge. Now the book offers you that same flip, but to win $100, you have to risk $110. Both sides. Whichever way it lands, one bettor wins 100, the other loses 110, and the book quietly keeps the difference. That difference is the hold, and on a normal bet, it runs around 4 to 5% of everything wagered. It looks like nothing, but remember that $150 billion Americans wagered last year. Skim 4.5% off a number that size, win or lose, game after game, and you are looking at billions in guaranteed revenue before a single final whistle. The math does not care who wins. It only cares that you keep playing. But straight bets are not where the real money lives. The real story is the parlay. A parlay is when you stack several bets onto one ticket, and every single leg has to hit or you lose the whole thing. It pays big when it lands, which almost never happens, and that is exactly the point. Here is the part that breaks people's brains. On a normal bet, the book holds about 4%. On a parlay, it holds around 20. On a same-game parlay where you stack bets from one single game, it climbs past 30. That is not a small difference. That is the book making 5 to 7 times more on every dollar. And bettors love them. In some states, parlays are barely a third of the money wagered, but they bring in nearly 70% of the profit. The casual fan stacking a 6-leg parlay on a Sunday is, statistically, the single most valuable customer in the entire building, handing the book far more than the sharp who bets thousands on one straight line. which is why every app pushes them relentlessly. But the parlay is only half the trap. The other half is the machine you are holding in your hand. A casino has no windows and no clocks, so you lose track of time. Your Sportsbook app does the same thing, it just does it better, because it lives in your pocket and it never closes. It pings you at breakfast with a boosted bet. It offers live betting, so you can wager on the very next pitch, the next possession, the next serve, keeping your thumb moving all game long. And every tap is recorded. The app knows exactly what you bet, when you bet, how you chase a loss, and how much you can be pushed to risk. It builds a file on you the way a casino tracks a player at the tables. From that file, it calculates your value. The small bettor gets automated bonus bets to stay hooked, but the heavy loser gets something else entirely. A real human being whose whole job is to keep you betting. The industry calls them VIP hosts, and once you understand who those hosts are really chasing, you understand where almost all of this money truly comes from. At the top of the pyramid sit the whales, and the numbers are staggering. In one NFL season, 60% of all bettors generated just 1% of the revenue. Flip that around and almost all of the profit comes from a tiny sliver of heavy users. One sportsbook was found to be pulling more than half of its entire revenue from just 20 players. Across the industry, the pattern holds. Roughly 2 to 3% of bettors generate 60 to 70% of the money. And a 2024 study found that about half of all online betting revenue comes from people who show signs of a gambling problem. This is who the VIP hosts are for. They fly these customers to games, hand them free bets, and text them the moment they try to walk away. In one case, a host kept sending offers to a man after he had already banned himself from the app. The whole business runs on a very small number of people who cannot stop. So here is the entire revenue model in one line. Hold times volume times frequency times the people who can least afford it. But if the math is this good, why do the operators keep losing money? The short answer, same as the casino, is everything else. Start with the tax man. In New York, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and Oregon, the state takes 51% of your gaming revenue right off the top. In Illinois, lawmakers went further and added a tax on every single bet, 25 cents each, then 50 cents once you get big. It got so painful that DraftKings and FanDuel started charging their own customers a surcharge on every wager just to survive there. Then add the promo money you are burning to keep customers, the marketing, the data feeds, the odds traders, the compliance teams, and the technology. Put it all together, and even the giants bled for years. DraftKings, the biggest book in the country, lost more than $500 million in 2024 alone. And that was a good year, a huge improvement on the one before. The hold is guaranteed. The profit is not. You can print money on every bet and still hand all of it, and then some to the state and to your own marketing budget. Which brings us to the two ways owners actually go broke. Two mistakes show up over and over. Mistake one, you are not big enough. If you cannot spend like DraftKings, you cannot buy customers like DraftKings, and you slowly starve. That is the graveyard. WinBet, PointsBet, FoxBet, Maxim, all of them well-funded, all of them gone. Mistake two, the state changes the rules underneath you. Buy into a market, then watch the tax double or a new per-bet fee appear, and a profitable book turns into a losing one overnight. But there is a third threat, and it is the one that could take down the entire industry at once. Integrity. The whole business depends on people believing the games are real. In 2024, an NBA player named Jonte Porter was banned for life for pulling himself out of games so gamblers could cash their bets. In 2025, former player Malik Beasley was caught up in a federal betting investigation. Every scandal like that is a crack in the foundation, because the moment the public decides the games are fixed, the bets stop. And no house edge in the world can save you. The math protects the book from the bettor. Nothing protects the book from itself. Step back and the economics are genuinely strange. A sportsbook has one of the most reliable revenue mechanisms ever built. Unlike a restaurant guessing how many meals it will sell, a book knows, almost to the dollar, that it will keep 4 to 5% of everything wagered, and far more than that on the parlays. The top line is close to guaranteed, and yet operators fail at a rate that would embarrass a tech startup. Why? Because the guaranteed part is only the beginning of the story. The hold is rigid. You cannot raise it in a bad quarter, so everything built on top of it, the taxes, the promos, the customer war, the scandals, has to also go right. The floor is bulletproof. The house you build on that floor is not. The whole industry is the same trade over and over. Guaranteed revenue against unguaranteed everything else. Survive it long enough, at enough scale, and you become one of two companies that quietly run American sports betting. Get it wrong and you become another name on the list of the dead. So what does getting it right actually pay? Two scenarios, real numbers. Scenario 1, the small operator. You run a single state book and take in, say, $100 million in bets a year. Hold around 6% across straight bets and parlays, and that is $6 million in revenue. Then the state takes its cut. You pay for your platform and your promos, and if you are lucky and disciplined, you might clear $1 million or $2 million. Thin, fragile, and one tax change from zero. Scenario 2, national scale. You are one of the two giants. You take in tens of billions in bets across more than 30 states. Your hold, juiced by parlays, is climbing toward 10% of everything wagered. That is billions in revenue every year. For years, you lose money buying up the whole market. But once the customer war cools and you are one of the last two standing, the same machine that bled you starts to print. That is the entire game. Lose for years to own the market, then own the market forever. The real barrier to entry is not the license. It is surviving long enough to be one of the last books standing. So if you still want to own a sportsbook, remember the one rule this entire business is built on. In gambling, the house always wins. The catch is that in this game, the house also has to survive the state, the scandals, and a war with two giants who will spend anything to bury you first. The math is on your side from the very first bet. Almost nothing else is. The house always wins. Just make sure you can afford to be the house.